Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I wholeheartedly agree with my colleague from California that our state continues to be the center of breathtaking innovation worldwide. However, the competency of our state government is another matter entirely, not to impugn the competence of any of my former colleagues in the Sacramento legislature, but this is a body that struggles with things like building roads, delivering electricity, managing forests, building dams, and getting water to come out of hoses. So the notion that this is the right body to regulate the most powerful technology in human history, whose workings are actually largely beyond the understanding even of the technology's creators, is a fairly fantastical notion. Not only that, but we are also faced with a technology that continues to accelerate in capability in an exponential way, in a way that is unlike anything we've seen before. Just to take one very specific example, you have leading models have recently gotten the gold medal on the International Math Olympiad, something that most experts thought was still going to be years away. And so I do think the risk that California is going to drive AI policy for the entire country is a very real one. And I think that a national framework that seeks to stop that from happening is needed and appropriate. And more specifically, I see the federal role as including the following. I mean, number one, of course, we need to be prepared to combat concrete harms as they arise, and harms where the use of AI tools can sort of accentuate the risk. Secondly, there needs to be, risk assessment type tools. Maybe, and as much as I'm giving California a hard time, there are some decent ideas in this latest bill. Incident reporting, transparency as far as safety protocols. Of course, there's a tremendous role for the federal government when it comes to the infrastructure needs behind the ever-escalating investment in data centers. Beyond that, I think it's very important that policymakers continue to be apprised as to the capabilities of these models. In fact, both sides of it, the risks as well as the capabilities. There are, of course, channels that exist both between the labs and government and among the labs themselves. But I think that most of us as policymakers, unless you're out looking for it, are not kept up to speed on exactly where the leading edge is. I think that's all very important. I think there could also be a lot more investment in actually safety and alignment related research. The labs do this themselves, but they're not necessarily incentivized to do it. And so there could be more of a federal role for promoting basic cutting edge safety related and alignment related research. But then finally, and maybe most importantly, I think that part of this conversation that we've been focusing a lot on when it comes to discussions of AI, there have been more of them happening here lately, but they've been really oriented on the aspects of the issue that are familiar. Okay, so the issues related to energy, issues related to water, some of the risks that are of a familiar kind. But the discussion has not focused much on the broader question of how are we going to prepare society for the enormous changes that are likely to be ushered in the coming years. And so when we get to this idea of states as laboratories of democracy or of experimentation, I think this actually is maybe the context in which that idea is most relevant. Because when it comes to sort of regulating the capabilities and constraining the capabilities of the systems themselves, the laboratories of democracy idea isn't really fitting. Number one, because there is an enumerated federal power when it comes to interstate commerce. Number two, we talk about experimentation. This is sort of something that we have to get right and we only get one shot at. There's a widely shared view that once AI capability crosses a certain threshold, whether that be recursive self-improvement or some other threshold, there's sort of going to be an escape velocity. So that has implications, number one, for the sort of narrower geopolitical context of which country leads in the technology, but also for the broader idea of is this technology going to be aligned with and beneficial to humanity. But I do think that states can play a role when it comes to preparing society for using this technology for good in various domains. So for example, education. I think that you're seeing states already experimenting with ways that AI can be used to close achievement gaps and to bring tools to students unlike anything we've ever had before. Transportation. States can take a lead, and some states have taken a lead in preparing our transportation systems for the increasing capacity for autonomy within various modalities. And then finally, and not finally, there are various other examples, but another final example I'll mention is the use of AI itself in government in order to improve government processes, which we're seeing some of here at the federal level. We're seeing some experimentation with states and other countries across the world. But when it comes to being laboratories of democracy and the role of states here, I think that's probably where states can be most valuable, and our role in Congress should be to pursue some sort of federal framework. I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen.